All right, it is November 17th, 2025 at 8:20 a.m. Just woke up from a nap and I'm here to tell a story about my life. It's my story, the true story. I was kicking it in Roseburg. Things were going really good in Roseburg, and then I ran into some demons, and my mom ran into some demons, and those demons took her life. So she died at 48 years old. From there, those demons influenced me and my mind to cheat on my wife with another demon. And then from that relationship, that took me over because I was consumed by sex. My wife and I were only having sex twice every 2 months. I was in my 20s, and in my mind, and my way of thinking was this: I'm too young to not have sex. So I was going outside of a sex. I fell in love with the demon, and ended up leaving my life for that demon. I did not want to go into another relationship with that demon without knowing that we were going to work, but it didn't work. My stepmom said she's just going to cheat on you. She cheated on me. I don't know how many times, but we ended up arguing a lot, and so therefore, I ended the relationship because she had a son that I cared for, and ended up telling one night, say, "Hey, I love you. Everything will be okay." Ended up leaving that night because his mom and I were arguing, and I didn't want him to be a part of the arguments that we would have. So I ended up leaving that relationship. So I was single for a while, did some dating, and ended up running into another demon. And I guess there was the devil involved as well. From that relationship, again, my mistake, ended up staying in that relationship. She kept on pursuing and persisting on having a relationship with me. She was bagging the girls that I was dating. So she was persistent. So I went with it, and I said, "Hey, you're too young. But hey, let's go for a date." So we ended up going for a date, and then we ended up dating after that. And I ended up breaking up with her a couple times because she was a little mouthy and rude. I say, "Hey, you got to change that. If you don't change that, this relationship is not going to work." So she said she would change it, but there was some things going on outside of relationship. I think she was cheating on me, and this is for some of you cheaters. She would break up with me, go have an affair, and then get back together with me, so she not receive karma. So if you don't want to receive karma, that's a trick that you can do. So I have no issues with her today. I've even thought about getting back with her, because she was honest about some things. So, and that's the way to get me. That's how you attract me, being honest, because honesty is very important in any relationship that I have. So we ended up having a couple of kids. First, we ended up getting married. She asked me like 3 times to get married. Finally, I said, "Okay, let's go." We went to Vegas and we got married. and that was the end of that. So we were married, trying to build a life together, and we were still arguing and things like that. I really didn't understand the dynamics of our relationship. It was a love-hate relationship. It's like there was times where I fucking hated her, and there was times where I fucking loved her. It's just one of those relationships, and it was really hard on me because I'm a pretty sensitive guy, and I'm sensitive to energies. And when those type of energies hit me, it really affects my aura and affects my psyche and affects my ability to function at a very high level. When I was in Roseburg, I was the youngest manager in the company that I was a part of. I moved up pretty fast. And I'm a fast learner. So from that experience in Roseburg, it was pretty easy to do things there because I didn't really have all those issues. Life was good. My mom was still alive, And it's like when she passed away, things started to go downhill. It's like the demons and devils waiting for her to pass away so that they can start attacking me. Reflecting, that's what it looks like. Fast forward to where I was at last time. And see, so we ended up having a couple of kids, but again, we were still arguing a lot, and the kids were getting pulled into our arguments. Like, she would attack me right in front of the kids. So the thing is, it wasn't all her. There were some outside players of our relationship that were trying to control the dynamics of our relationship. So it wasn't just her. There was maybe an ex-boyfriend and some of my family members, maybe some of her family members, that were all in our business. And it didn't help things. It made things worse. Now, there was a lot of raiding going on. This is the geez, believe it or not, because not everyone's going to believe my words, but I'm going to tell you my truth and the things that I've learned. There's three things. You have energy exchanges, you have energy transfers, and you have destiny exchanges. Destiny exchange is when someone tries to exchange destinies with you. So let's say I'm a restaurant manager, and a bum off the streets wants my position. What that bum would do is do a destiny exchange and an energy exchange, so that he can go be the manager of the restaurant and I can go be on the streets. Right? That happened to me twice with two different girls. They were sex workers and they're from the street. So that's how I got onto the street. However, I already knew what's going on because I already been through this already with my ex-wife and a friend of mine. Something like that. So I'm still trying to figure out what his mindset is, because he could still destiny exchange but still have my back at the same time, because we have different ways at approaching things. So I'm still trying to figure that guy out. So I would go backwards in my life with my ex because of the energy exchanges and the destiny exchange. And then there was some energy transfers. So I started to go backwards, right? Instead of upwards. So these are the raw truth, hardcore truth, secrets that nobody knows, that they know now if they do believe the things that I am saying. So I'm on a spiritual path, and these entities over here are getting in my way and trying to do the things and use me in a way that benefits them, but it doesn't really benefit me. And it's affecting the path that I'm on. And my path is legendary, right? These over here don't want me to be legendary. These people over here want to just create a story that fits them and their narrative and things like that. So that's a brief summary of things. And so I just now got off the streets. There's a lot of gaps in my story right now because I'll fill them in later. I just got off the streets. I have a pretty positive mindset about things. So I took advantage of going down to the street. They've been trying to get me to go down for like 4 or 5 years or something like that, right? And I made it difficult for them to be able to do that. And what that does, it helps me to learn their tactics and the things that they do, right? And how they think and their way of thinking. So I made it difficult for them to take me all the way down. But as I went down, I was learning and learning and learning and learning until I hit the bottom. And then I took some things that I saw and created some ecosystems in my mind such that these bums that are at the bottom, they do work to collect cans, to collect bottles, and things that will help them to make money. I saw that as them not being bums. I saw that as them just being homeless because they were working for their money. So my idea was just this: people in the neighborhood collect cans and bottles, put it outside the door or on the edge of the street, and let the bums come and pick it up. They're still doing work, but we're making the work easier for them so they can do good for the earth, and we do our part for the earth. And it's kind of like a handshake kind of thing. Just another ecosystem created for the homeless. So there's that idea that I took from going all the way to the bottom. Lived on the streets for about 2 months, and I learned what it was like to be hungry, and it's not fun. It's not fun being hungry. So I started asking fast food restaurants like Taco Bell, Burger King, Subway, Jersey Mike's. I recently pulled in Cinnabon just for some desserts. Who else? Round Table, Pizza Hut, and Round Table, Pizza Hut. There's another pizza joint, Godfather's. These are all restaurants that helped feed me because I'm homeless. I'm still homeless. I got a car because my brother bought me a car. I'm still homeless. All these people helped feed me. I would take the food that I wasn't going to eat, and I took it to the other hungry people, and I fed them. Like Dairy Queen is another person. I didn't ask them. They just came out because I was sleeping behind the garbage can or the garbage dumpster. They came out and said, "Hey, we want to give you some food." I'm like, "Really?" And so, what makes you think I need food? And there's, well, we kind of had a hunch. So what would you like? And so I got some chicken strips and some fries. I took those chicken strips and fries. There's a lady on the corner begging for food. I gave them a chicken strip. Lady underneath the bridge ran down there, gave her half my food, and then I bounced and I came up and ate the rest of my food. So now there's a rumor saying, "Oh, we fell for his trick of being homeless, this, and that, and the third." No, you didn't fall for anything. What you did is you fed a homeless guy, a hungry guy. And you're allowing me to build relationships with you so that I can create a route to come back to you so I can get more free food. And the next time, it may not be for me. It may be strictly for the hungry, right? Because I just recently got a job at Amazon. Yeah. So Amazon's been pretty good to me in the past because you do a little bit of e-com and things like that, but I don't think they knew I was dealing with a bunch of demons. So, and they pulled me into the drug world. The first time was a lot of alien drug experimentation. The second time was to build a case, defamation of character, and to find out who was trying to take my kids, right? So I started building my own case of defamation. It's not the right way to say it. I just say it that way. A case against whoever's trying to take my kids. And so I was simulating that I was doing drugs, right? The judge doesn't even know, or he shouldn't know, that I was simulating, or I was doing drugs, but not doing drugs at the same time. I was simulating the act of doing drugs, right? And the way I do that is like, if I was smoking weed, I wouldn't smoke, I'd just light it up. And then I put it all over myself as if I smoked weed, right? And I learned a new tactic. Breathe in the smoke. It's a lighter high, right? But it's not really smoking, but it's enough to allow you to go to sleep if you have sleep issues. So if you guys want to use that tactic, go ahead. So I simulated myself smoking weed, and I caught them off guard. And there's a tactic where they can download spirits inside of you. Those type of spirits could be weed smokers. I was high the next day, but I didn't smoke weed. I simulated it. And then the next day, I smoked weed, but I didn't feel high. So they downloaded some clear-minded individuals inside of me, and then I wasn't high. So with drugs like cocaine and meth, which cocaine is like sugar, it has the same effect on your brain. But it might hit harder because you might be smoking weed with it, you might be drinking alcohol with it, you might be partying, so it's going to feel different than sugar. Sugar, you have a crash. Cocaine, you have a crash, right? So I wanted to get into some experiments with those type of drugs to find out the truth of the drugs, because I've learned a lot about the system and how the system functions and why it's functioning. And there's a lot of people trying to make decisions that are from ignorance and lack of knowledge. So with that being said, I was doing it for the black market, for the drug dealers and the cartels and things like that, right? To kind of maybe try to make things better with their system. But some people got in the way, so I wasn't able to finish those experimentations. And then also they're changing the formula. The first time they changed the formula, I was shooting sparks in my hands. This time they're changing the formula again, and some of the formulas that they created made it such that my skin was nice and smooth, my cheeks were lifted, and I was awake. I didn't need to sleep, right? It wasn't cocaine and it wasn't meth. It was just another formula that they wanted to experiment with. So it was a drug, but it wasn't a drug at the same time. It's not illegal because it's not a known chemical formation that they created, right? So meth is not really, the ingredients in meth are not illegal. You can get them all on the shelf in your grocery stores and things like that. It's the process that it goes through. I think it makes it illegal or something like that. But also meth is also a subscription. They have subscription meth, and they also have Adderall, which is another form of meth. It just has a different name and it hits different. It's just a slower gradual high. Now remember this, meth is for concentration and focus, and it helps you stay awake. I had energy vampires, and that was going to be my next experiment. And I was going to do it with medicated meth, right? Not street meth. But I think some family members got in the way, maybe some church members got in the way of those type of experiments. So I wasn't able to complete those experiments. And that's the problem. People keep on getting in my way. And it's just my path. And they keep on getting away in my path for whatever reason. So I'm okay. I don't need to do those experiments. My future experiments are going to do with steroids and there's a new thing out. It's not stem cells. I forgot the name of it. It's steroids and peptides. Yeah, steroids and peptides are going to be my future experiments. I was doing a steroid experiment, but again, they got in my way, so I wasn't able to finish that experiment. So I still want to finish that experiment. What was I doing? I did it for 2 months, and what I found is I was more assertive, I had more energy, and I was stronger, and those type of things. And I was trying to find the correct amount to take for steroids, but peptides might be a better way to go because I think it's more of a natural. substance. So we'll see how things go. Plus, it's legal. Steroids are also legal, but you have to go through. It's really expensive. So nothing I do is really illegal. It's just, made illegal for the system, right? Cocaine was made illegal for the system because they just gave it to the black market, and it suppressed your appetite. If it suppresses your appetite, then that's not good for our system, because our system is a consumerism system, and so therefore we won't be able to buy as much food. If we don't buy as much food, there's less cash flow in the system, right? So they don't really want that type of drug in the system. So they turn it into a party drug, a fun drug, and things like that. But it was cultivated by godlike entities about 30,000 years ago as a natural substance for medicinal purposes, along with marijuana, which cultivated about 30,000 years ago for what? For medicinal purposes. These are natural drugs, and the beast system that's only been 2,000 years old moved into synthetic, more fake type of medicinal purposes. So you got natural and you got synthetic. So, which is fine. I did experiments on marijuana, and on marijuana, what's it called? Ibuprofen, plant marijuana, and edibles. Ibuprofen 1, because number 1, clear mind. Number 2, it took the pain away more effectively than marijuana and edibles. Edibles came number 2, marijuana number 3. My experience, the marijuana enhanced the pain a little bit, but then it would numb it down a little bit because of the high in my brain. So, still homeless, but not carless. Just got a job at Amazon. Looking for another job, and I'm looking for maybe something a little bit more fun, something part-time, maybe like New Seasons, Whole Foods, Market of Choice, or I don't want to say Cinnabon, because I'm trying to move towards a more healthy diet. Alkaline diet is what alkaline to plant-based diet. So that's where I'm going. And so they got guys like this guy is like going to prison. They it's called street theater, and what they do is they put their hands behind their back as if they're a prisoner. So I just sent it back to him. I was like, oh, that guy's going to prison, right? So, and what that means is the knowledge that I have is not in alignment with our system. But I support the system because I still buy things in the system to help support the system. Just my knowledge that I'm giving to people has already been given to people by other people. So it's not new knowledge. So I'm not going to prison based on my knowledge, because people have already done that for me. They went to prison for me, just like I went all the way down to the bottom for other people. I sacrificed myself, like Jesus, the story, sacrificed himself, but my story is a true story. Jesus' story is not a true story. It caters to a godlike figure by the name of Moloch, who desires sacrifice of kids and things like that. So that's Moloch's thing. That's not my thing. So Jesus never got sacrificed. He actually didn't die for anyone's sins. I'm still looking to that. Cup Cooker brought that up to my attention, because you have Buddha and Krishna who had the same type of story. They did not get sacrificed. They just made a Jesus character who and created a system around him such that he died for everyone's sins. He could be just like this guy, where they transferred energy to that guy, right? They transferred energy to that guy of other people's it's emotions. They're saying sins, emotions. So their emotions that they have, the bad emotions that they have, got transferred into Jesus. That could be one way. Jesus might have been vibing at a vibration that was healing to diseases, because that's what it is. There's a cure for every disease that exists, because Tesla said everything's energy, frequency, and vibrations. If that is true, and it is true, then there's a cure for every disease that exists today. So that is my story, part of it. And yes, I am looking for donations for the hungry. I don't know if they're homeless like me, but they are hungry. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on the street asking for money and asking for food, right? So I tried to walk in their shoes. I went to a dumpster and I was in there tearing open bags, and I started throwing up. And I was like, all right, I'm good. I can't do that part of their life. I thought about carrying a sign, but I don't know. It's not in me to do those type of things. So I'd rather just talk to them and ask them, how did you get to this point in your life? Two of the bums said that they would never go back to work and that they're going to stay right where they're at. But they have demons inside of them. So demons are cohabitating with those type of people. And it's probably the demons that are saying that. The demons are saying that because that's their way of living. So demons are harmless, but they're getting braver and bolder, and they're energy exchanging and taking people's energies and things like that, and that's not okay. So I'm here to make the playing field even, so they don't take advantage of the people in general. So the people know, the demons know, and eventually they're going to have to come to some agreements like Twilight, where the vampires and the wolves had to come to agreements, right? And then they became allies eventually. So there's that. It's part of my story.